So it says Halloween Horror Nights, right? 35.
You delightful freak. So you got Jack right there and Oddfellow.
Okay guys, we're back at Universal Studios Florida. It's time for a massive Halloween Horror Nights 2025 update. Now we had the HHN panel yesterday. They announced the new house, but there's so many details that they talked about within the panel that kind of flew over everybody's head. Like right here, the archway, right? They showed the archway with the shadowy silhouette of Oddfellow and Jack, but we see how the arch looks. Now you can see missing spots where the posters would normally be. So it looks like they might be doing a projection effect with kind of the shattered realm on the archway, and then also lights coming from the top of the arch. On that note, it's time to talk about the Halloween Horror Nights shirt of the day. This is for Premium Scream Night, First Into the Fog. I like that they had an exclusive shirt. I'm gonna show kind of the new higher res trailer that they showed for the Oddfellow and Jack house first.
We're back.
Okay, welcome back. We're gonna head off to Islands of Adventure first. We're gonna switch it up a little bit, and then we'll head back to Universal Studios.
All right, so we're heading into Islands of Adventure right now.
As you know, the All Hallows Eve boutique has officially closed forever. All the spooky merchandise will be at the All Hallows Eve kind of emporium in the front of the park. So if you're looking for your HHN stuff or your spooky fix, it'll be in the front of the park to the left.
So when you're walking in, it's gonna be on this side. So before you pass the bridge, come over here, and this is where the All Hallows Eve Lost Emporium is gonna be. So they got the new poster out with the new artwork. So we have the first merch of the year. We have so much to go over in this video, but you can pick up this merch here at the All Hallows Eve Lost Emporium or over at 5 and Dime. Here's the merch. This is what's going on. Now they had exclusive art print. They only made 500 of them. They sold out already. They released it yesterday. Go over the stuff that they still have. $30. So you got Jack right there and Oddfellow, and then on the back it'll say Halloween Horror Nights. I don't care for the design of the 2026, and then $13. You're gonna have the magnet, that same design on it. $35. That's how much the shirt's gonna be.
Okay, let's do a deep dive into the art print that's on the shirt and then also the poster. We see the 3 and the 5 right for HHN 35. We have a red kind of distressed circus tent with kind of the same circles that we see in Jack's hair. To the right, we're gonna see the purple circus tent for Oddfellow. You can kind of see the cosmic kind of zodiac power on that tent. Jack is chaos, that's why distressed tent, and then Oddfellow is control, a little more put together. And then we can kind of see the stitching between the two tents right there. As you know, they're gonna be kind of working together. Now there's 2 bulbs above their head. It almost looks like eyes. So is there some sort of different entity or something that they're teaming up to fight? We don't know, but it almost looks like 2 eyes kind of looking at you throughout the tent.
That's kind of rundown of the shirt. And you got the bride and Frankie just chilling. $27 for this new mug, Book of the Dead for the Mummy, and then here's just kind of like where you put your change or your keys for the scarab, but there's no price on it, so I don't know how much it is, but that's a new one here. Here's a new Halloween t-shirt company shirt, Be Kind, Not a Monster. These are, I believe, $37 for these shirts. There's also a new little kind of a tiki display set up over here. So you're gonna have the moon, right? The moon, the full moon will lead to the Wolfman. And then we also have the cane from the film. We have the brain in the jar, which leads to Frankenstein's monster, which then leads to the fire at the end of the first film where they try to kill Frankenstein's monster. It doesn't work. He comes back in the sequel, but kind of tells the story, beginning, middle, and end. Over here, we're gonna have Finding the Fossil of Creature's Hand. Then you come down here to Creature, right? Cute little tiki creature. And then you have the boat, the Rita, right there. Then at the top up here, we have a lightning bolt, which then leads to the Bride of Frankenstein. I love this like tiki design of the Universal Monsters. And then you got the bride's crazy hair. So they're telling a story within kind of the tiki theming. The Starbucks in the front of the park, walls have been taken down, but it's still closed for right now. They do have a sign up. Our store is temporarily closed. So you can go to the City Walk Starbucks or the Universal Studios Starbucks if you need some caffeine.
One of the great things is, you know, we saw Oddfellow and Jack yesterday. We really got to see kind of their new outfits. And there's a lot of story within the outfit that I feel like a lot of people kind of missed. The great thing that the Universal team members have been doing is they've really been kind of crafting these high quality themed costumes for scare actors. It's not just like a generic cloak or just like a generic mask. they're handcrafting stuff to tell a story. So let's do the rundown of Oddfellow first. So he's got his classic cane of souls, right? Last time we saw him in the parks, he had that. Remember, he got the skull from the jungle, but he's got kind of his ringmaster jacket, but it's gonna be purple. As you know, in 2007, Jack steals the cane of souls and the ringmaster jacket, but it's purple in this. So it looks exactly like how it looked, but then also the sleeves are very reminiscent, kind of how we saw Oddfellow's big coat, where it's all kind of like ripped up and kind of the realms are kind of like, you know, bleeding through his sleeves. So I love how they kind of combined the two different costumes together. And then Jack is kind of a mix between all the costumes that we've seen him wear. So we have the classic Jack the Clown kind of polka dot design, right? Then you have his little poof balls on his little vest. And then we also have kind of that dirtied undershirt. And then in 2015, and in Horror Unleashed, Jack kind of has that red leather trench coat. So they're kind of combining all the different costumes together. Now there is this kind of whole suit that he's wearing. We've never seen him wear this suit before, but they did say in the panel that we're going to be seeing a non-makeup Jack Schmidt. Now in the Oddfellow house, we saw the wanted poster for Jack Schmidt. So we could be seeing Jack wear this kind of suit without makeup. And then that's how they'll combine everything together. Because they were saying the house that you're gonna be walking through is kind of like a prelude or a prequel to the actual event. So that would make sense how they're combining all the different costume elements together. I do love this moment where Oddfellow's like giving him the look. Reminded me of like when your friend has had too many drinks and you're like, oh my God, I gotta deal with this guy now. But there's a lot of time and effort put into those costumes, kind of tell a story.
Over here at the carnival games, they have new Shrek prizes. Pinocchio, Fiona, look at Donkey cheesing, and then Shrek right there. Over here by the Kong gift shop, we have some new Halloween T-shirt company shirts. Look at this, $37. It's like Kong on a stamp. The plane's flying by, he's drooling. And over here, I like this one a little more. Got Kong right there, some dinosaurs, and like a skull for Skull Island. So we got some new Halloween T-shirt company shirts at the gift shop. There's also another one. It's just of Kong's face. Now this is Halloween T-shirt company, not Universal Studios, but it looks like the Universal Kong. All right, there's some new sweet treats that got added to natural selections here.
Universal's not known for their churros. It's a Bavarian cream churro. Does come with chocolate sauce, $8.50 though. Let's hope it's good. $8.50 is a lot for a churro, especially a Universal churro. It's crunchy. It's sugary. It's got a warm Bavarian cream inside. When you dip the churro in the chocolate sauce, it kind of tastes like one of the Krispy Kreme kind of warmed up Bavarian cream donuts. I'm gonna do like a 7.5 on that. Surprisingly good. Now there's another sweet treat that they also have at the booth. It's a strawberry shortcake inside of a cup. We'll see how it is. The strawberry shortcake, so sweet. You know, like the strawberry shortcake, like popsicles, imagine that, but like cranked up to 11 with sugar. On the bottom, you kind of have like those artificial strawberry shortcake flavoring. Then you get like a vanilla cake. Then you get like white chocolate shavings, I think. Then you get like a frosting. Then you get like the strawberry puree with whipped cream. I'm gonna do a 7 out of 10 on it.
Now if you're trying to get over to the Wizarding World, the bridge is still kind of closed off, so pardon our dust as we make improvements. Proceed to alternate paths as indicated on the map below. So you just take the Velocicoaster path and this will loop you around through the Lost Continent.
Okay, so we're leaving Islands of Adventure. We're gonna go over to Universal Studios now. We do have a little Murdy update to go over real quick.
There's John Murdy right there. John!
Big reveal for HHN Orlando today. Meanwhile, on the west coast of Ireland. So we still don't have an announcement for anything coming to Hollywood yet. Jack coming back to Orlando, question mark? Can he come back to Hollywood? John responds with just a picture of Jack Torrance from The Shining, looking a little grumpy and psychotic. This year will be my first HHN in Hollywood, and we are super excited for particularly the Terror Tram. John says, oh, it's gonna be a good one. Just finished writing it. So John finished writing the Terror Tram. And then because of the Orlando announcement, they said this to John, do something. He said, I'm doing something. I just made my kids tacos. And then John also tweeted out this, finish writing something for HHN 2026 at Universal Studios Hollywood that I started working on back in November of 2025, then shelved for a few months and eventually came back to it. Not a house, but something for a house. Sometimes you have to let things sit for a while before you're ready to tackle them. Is this for an original house or IP house? John says, original. What's one thing you researched for this edition? Things bullies say.
All right, so again, imagine lights right there, projection effects, the posters for all the houses.
Okay, we're gonna head over to Five and Dime now, pick up the shirt. Now what they did last year with kind of the preview merch is they made a limited supply, so it did sell out. And then they did not like restock some of the stuff. So if you see it and you want it, I suggest buying it during the preview season. And even when the event starts, the tariffs are really affecting the prices of everything, how stuff is being shipped. And now we got the gas prices going up. So it's really gonna kind of affect shipments and what's going where. So if you see something, I highly suggest just buying it this year, or else you'll be paying crazy prices on eBay.
Here we are, we're at Five and Dime. We got the poster out here, and then right when you come in, you'll see the new store display. They kind of recreated what the artwork is, where it's the shape of like a circus tent. So you see the little flag at the top, and then also you're gonna see red on this side, and then purple on that side for Oddfellow and Jack. And then down here, it's gonna say, now presenting all new acts, and they got the magnet, the cup, and then the shirt. And when you come around on the other side, HHN, it's spelled out with the merch. So also in Five and Dime, the mystery box craze has come over here. As you know, Disney Springs has their own little Disney mystery box area. I think that's horrendous. What? It just looks like a leaking rainbow turd or something. It's supposed to say mystery inside there, and then mania. That is not a good design. They're gonna have the mystery How to Train Your Dragon figures, 9 to collect. There's 7 to collect of the Kung Fu Panda characters. All right, this is an actual good one. Individual ones are $25 each, or $300 for the entire case. These are awesome. Little King Bob right there. Just Bob and all these different things. Bob and Tim making the snowball. They're playing music. They're learning karate, doing the hula. Frank and Bob, Astronaut Bob, Boxing Bob, Elf Bob, Cooking Bob, and Dancing Bob. This is an adorable collection. And then over here they got League of Legends classic characters, and then these are like the SpongeBob guys, the little plush keychains. Those are good. The Powerpuff Girls, Hello Kitty and Friends. They even have little Care Bear mystery boxes. And then here's a little storybook Harry Potter moments, Sirius Black right there. And over here is some Naruto figures. So you'll probably also see these pop up in Hollywood also. Then they have the Universal Mystery Minis. They got Jack, Frankenstein's Monster and the Bride, Chucky, the Scarecrow, some Scarecrow, and these are the Chasers, the Bride and Frankie, and then Chance right there.
Okay, so speaking about collectibles, for the MegaCon panel, they gave each guest like a special card. You could only get these from the MegaCon panel. Now there was four different ones. Let's do a whole rundown about kind of what they say. There's also a special decoding little phrase to it, and then what that means to the overarching story. So here's a better look at the exclusive card that was given out. So on the left side, we have Jack. On the right side, we have Oddfellow. There's a little bit like a distressing that they did on the card. Now, these things are going for insane prices on eBay. Some people were trying to sell them for $500. So there was 4 to collect. Let's go over all of them. So the first one is Carnival, right? The string lights surge with the power of an ancient evil. Its games draw you in, but demand a deadly price. And the distant sound of music are just a cacophony of twisted screams. Think twice before entering, for the carnival is never what it seems. Now at the bottom, there's lucky numbers. This is actually a fun little puzzle. So this spells out clown. The next card is going to be the box. Once the box has been opened, the horrors within can never again be sealed away. Keep your curiosity at bay, for what lies inside may not be dormant at all, but rather festering, growing, increasingly powerful until an unfortunate soul dares to undo its confines. Talk about Jack being locked in the Jack in the Box. And then the translated lucky numbers is chaos. As you know, Jack is the herald of chaos for fear. The next card is going to be the alliance. The most powerful alliance is often merged in an unlikely place. As mercurial forces collide, their chaotic instability conjures an unworldly power which cannot be contained. But as quick as it forms, it too may it end. Nothing shall remain in this zero-sum game. So just kind of talk about the alliance that's going to be formed between Oddfellow and Jack. Zodiac is going to be the mystery lucky numbers. As you know, Oddfellow uses kind of the power of the Zodiac and the Zodiac realm. Then there's the cane. The cane corrupts and corrodes its user,
tempting with limitless power. Tread carefully when communing with its unearthly energy, for one never knows the true intentions of the vast cosmic force that lie within. And then the lucky numbers pretty much spells out control. So the Cane of Souls corrupted Jack and Oddfellow, it looks like. If you look on Oddfellow, right, you can see the zodiac symbols and the Oddfellow symbol glowing. If you look on Jack, you can kind of see these, like, the veins. It looks like an infection. But if Jack is the herald of chaos, Oddfellow must be the herald of control. Is Oddfellow secretly working for fear? We might find out down the road, or this year. We don't know.
Okay, so now let's talk about something awesome that Universal did. Way back in the day, they used to kind of do these kind of media kits. I've shown a couple in the videos, but like every year they would make a new one, right, to kind of launch the event or promote the event. So they haven't done one really since 2015. It's been about a decade where they had like the severed arm and everything with the selfie stick. They did do like a t-shirt with just like a note, but nothing kind of like special or custom. Universal sent out kind of a package to a bunch of different creators. Okay, so we got the package. There it is. So here we have the envelope, Halloween Horror Nights. Gotta be really careful. All right, you ready? Oh, look at that. It says Halloween Horror Nights with that classic kind of carnival design. That's a freaking ticket. So it says Halloween Horror Nights, right, 35 for HHN 35. Then we're gonna have the announcement date right there. Then on the bottom of the stub, it's gonna say 8/28/26. So that's gonna be the opening date of Halloween Horror Nights Orlando this year. And then on the back it says Universal Orlando Halloween Horror Nights. Fear, screams, and nightmares will be unleashed at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando Resort this fall. So if you look at all the different lower cases, so you have an I, you have an O, you have a C, and an N. As you know, that spells icon. So they're gonna announce the icon at the panel, but you guys have already seen the panel video. This is gonna go into my HHN collection with all the other little media invites and everything. So thank you, Universal, for sending this to me. They're finally kind of returning back to their roots, where they're kind of doing this like cryptic kind of marketing. It's kind of a communal effort of trying to figure out the clues and what it means, and that just kind of gets people more invested and hyped. So I'm kind of glad that they've kind of brought back this kind of a custom kind of media kit invites. I don't know if there's gonna be any more, but I think this is a good start because it's been missing for almost like a decade. I hope Universal kind of continues kind of this marketing strategy to build up the year, because it's more fun that way. I hate when they kind of announce all the originals in 1 week and then it's over with. Keep, you know, kind of playing with the audience, toying with the audience to kind of uncover everything. That's how it kind of used to be with the websites and the games and stuff like that. So I'm glad they're kind of like bringing that back.
Has Mecca done anything? Their trailer's still there. No movement of anything. But the trailer's still there. Before you know it, we'll start seeing construction. Now that St. Patrick's Day has happened, the little countdown clock has reset in Rosie's Irish shop. It has been reset 361 days till St. Patrick's Day. Lots of construction happening on the fast coaster. They did change the wall. So they added all 4 kind of the different ride vehicles that you'll be in. Now we still have no opening date for Hollywood's version, but hopefully soon. They're testing it and everything, but again, there's no announcement of an opening. Okay, we're gonna head over to City Walk now. They have some new Epic Universe t-shirts I want to show off. But while we head over there, I want to go over kind of the whole rundown that Michael tweeted out. There's a couple more nuggets of info that he revealed in the tweet. So Michael tweeted out this: it all begins with Dr. Oddfellow, a powerful occultist who used a traveling circus as a cover to harness dark supernatural forces tied to the zodiac. Everything he built was rooted in control, from the performers he manipulated to the rituals he carried out behind the scenes. The carnival wasn't just entertainment, it was a machine designed to channel fear and sacrifice into power. Then there's Jack. Jack started as a killer who turned himself into a clown, using performance as a way to get closer to his victims. When he joined Dr. Oddfellow's carnival, the two became part of the same system, but for very different reasons. Oddfellow saw the circus as a tool for precision and purpose, while Jack turned it into something unpredictable, using it as a stage for increasingly chaotic and theatrical violence. As Jack's behavior grew more dangerous and grew attention, Oddfellow decided to eliminate the problem. He killed Jack and sealed him inside a box, believing he had contained the chaos for good. But the box didn't just hold Jack, it transformed him, clawing Oddfellow's face. Before he was entombed, Jack became fueled by the dark energy surrounding the carnival and the power of the Cane of Souls. Jack returned as something no longer human. He broke free, killed Oddfellow and took control of the circus, reshaping it into the Carnival of Carnage, a nightmare fueled by fear, spectacle, and blood. But Oddfellow didn't stay dead. Because of the power he had been building, his essence was pulled into the realm of the Zodiac, where he finally took full control of the forces that had once influenced him. When he returned, he was transformed as well, no longer just a man, but something far more powerful, wielding what had become the Dark Zodiac. Now both of them exist, bound to the same power and the same world. Jack embodies chaos, turning everything into performance and destruction, while Oddfellow represents control, manipulating events and bending reality at his will. They are opposing forces, but they are also connected. Neither of them would exist in this form without the other. That dynamic is where our haunted house begins. Guests step into the story at the moment it all started, inside the box and into the Oddverse, Dr. Oddfellow's domain. It's here they experience Jack's origin, as it is being narrated by Oddfellow himself, watching his rise from human killer to something far more dangerous within the carnival. But Jack refuses to stay contained. Even within his own story, he interrupts the narration, takes control, and what begins as a retelling quickly becomes a confrontation. As guests move through the house, they are caught inside the battle between chaos and control, as Jack and Oddfellow fight for dominance over the same space, the same story, and ultimately the same powers. As the conflict builds, both come to realization divided their power is limited, but together their ability to generate fear becomes something far greater. By the climax, they make a choice that is far more dangerous than continuing to fight. They unite, not in peace, but in purpose. Their alliance creates something entirely new, an infernal carnival, a living engine of horror powered by fear itself. Every nightmare within it exists to feed that system, drawing energy from every scream and every moment of terror. This isn't just a place that was built, it's something that was summoned, born from ritual, chaos, and control combined. And once you step inside, you're no longer just witnessing the story, you're part of what keeps it alive. And an easy alliance that grows from it is where Halloween Horror Nights 2026 lives for its 35th anniversary. Two of the event's most iconic figures, Jack the Clown and Dr. Oddfellow, finally come together to unleash their infernal carnival of nightmares. Within the decrepit carnival, fear is on full display. Twisted attractions, familiar horrors reborn, and entirely new nightmares of unimaginable scale take over, each one feeding the engine they've created. This is where our legacy lives and evolves, built on everything that has come before, while pushing into something unique and dangerous. The infernal carnival of nightmares. So much more to come.
Made it to the Epic Universe Preview Center. It's almost been a year now since Epic's opened. 2 for $50 or they're $30 each. So shockingly attractive. There's a new Invisible Man one, invisible but unforgettable. I don't know how I feel about that design, because I thought it was like Michael Jackson for a second, but then they just put Invisible Man's glasses on it. There's also a Celestial Park t-shirt that you can pick up. Shockingly cute. Universal Epic Universe. You delightful freak. Universal Epic Universe. And you have Igor right there. And over here we have the Plastered Owl, where drinks are strong and feathers fly. But the best one, look at this. Look at this. They got freaking Pizza Moon. They got Pizza Moon on a shirt. Pizza Moon, out of this world flavor, Universal Epic Universe. I miss Pizza Moon. I wish there was an AP so I could just go in to get Pizza Moon and leave. Here for the cones, and they have the mac and cheese cones. I miss those too. I miss the food so much from Epic. They have another shirt, I Heart Hiccup. Then this one says Best Dad Bod. Then they have the Ministry logo, and then Umbridge stands trial today.
And then also some of the other Universal Creative team tweeted out some stuff about the Oddfellow and Jack house.
Not only is this the most technically demanding HHN house I've ever worked on, but one of the most technically demanding projects I've ever worked on, period. We are taking some big swings in here, doing things we've never tried in an HHN house before. This one's gonna be special. So Ramon tweeted out this: Dylan and Charles have cooked up an absolute classic with this experience. If you think you're ready, you're not. HHN 35.
Looks like the Florida cold that we got last week got to the tree. The bead tree is no longer in full bloom. Its color is gone away. They have to keep coming in and kind of removing all the beads because it'll kind of weigh down the tree too much. But on that note, let's go back to the office and talk about some more stuff.
Okay guys, we're back in the office. So I hope you enjoyed our little Halloween Horror Nights 35 update. The next video is gonna be MegaCon. We had a crazy weekend filming that video, and then we have some more Universal updates. We got so much content coming on the way. So on that note, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and join the family.
I love the family.
Because I'm gonna keep you up to date on all things Universal Studios and Halloween Horror Nights around the country. I love you all. I'll see y'all very soon.
Here for the cones. How you doing today?
Hooterate?